Okay, so we went over the body language, we went over the language, we went over, how to approach the door, the different objections that you can possibly get at the door, right? The ins and outs of this door knocking, and it's very simplistic when you're going out to the doors, go and meet people and treat people like people, right? That's the objective. We have a profession. We do real estate or whatever the case may be. We know other people from different industries are also getting this guide. So if you're a mortgage broker, you deal mortgages. If you're an insurance broker, you deal with insurance. It's a service that you can offer. But bottom line, what you're doing is you're meeting with people, right? And it's all about the people to meet. So in the real estate industry, because I'm a realtor, so that's who I could connect directly with, right? I'm going to actually log into my realm, which is our database where we go and we get our clients. And as a realtor, it's very important that, if you are farming, and if you're familiar with farming, right, then find an area that has a high turnover, right? And go and canvas that area. So I'm going to go right here and just go into my screen. Oh, okay. Let me screen share is paused. Okay. Okay. This. Okay. Share the screen. I'll go and pause it. Um, okay. All right. Okay. So we're here in the realm, right, for the Toronto Real Estate Board, right? And we were going to find a farming area, okay? If you are familiar with farming, farming is finding a select area, that you want to focus on, right? Really niching your real estate career down, right? Um, the world's a big place, right? The world's a big place if we take it in, right? So we want to kind of zoom in on a focus area that we want to work in. Okay. So if you're using Realm, right, then what you want to do is you want to find the turnover. You got to use the tools on here, right? And other in a place I'm sure you guys probably have thing similar things in your database. But in Realm, what you want to do, you want to go to these three lines here. It says map layers, right? And then you want to go to turnover 1 year. Okay. And I'm going to show you why you want to go there, especially when you're finding a farming area. All right. Because a farming area, um, definitely you could be selective, but when you're going for a neighborhood that has a high turnover area, right? Then that means that th- a lot of people are selling in that area. Within the year, if it's high, if the percentage is high, then it shows within the past year, a lot of people in that area have sold their homes, right? So what that does is, along with the door knocking method, right? You're using the method and you're going to areas of homes that have a high probability of selling, right? So, when you combine these two, your results are obviously going to be much better, right? So, this right here, this is Brampton. I'm in Brampton area, right? So if you look inside here, right, you'll see actually percentages, right? You'll see percentages in here, right? And all these percentages shows you the percentage of turnaround, right? So some areas have more homes in it, some areas have less, so they get the average in the area, right? But looking in here, you'll see the lighter colors are the ones that are not turning around as much, and then the ones that get more darker, like reddish, are the ones that where there is a higher turnaround, right? So, let's say I wanted to work this area here, right? I'm gonna zoom in, right? And I'm gonna look at the percentages. Generally, if you see something 5% or more, then that means there's a high turnaround that's going in that area, right? And yeah, so look for those kind of numbers, right? So over here, I'm looking and it's zoom in here, right? So as you zoom in, it'll kind of even narrow it in more for you. So you see this area right here shows a 7.78 turnaround, right? So you go fo when you farm, you maybe want to focus in on this area, right? Focus in on this area, draw your polygon, right? And maybe this is your area right here. You're gonna concentrate in this block right here, right? Whatever the area may be, right? But maybe say you want to focus in on this area. Let's just say, right? There's a high chance you're going to get people that want to sell, okay? Because there's a high turnaround in this area, okay? And then let me just go find another place. Let's say if you live in Toronto, let's go scope out Toronto right now, or Mississauga, wherever the case may be. We'll go to Toronto. Let's just zoom in here. Give us some time, let it populate a little bit, right? So you see the darker the thing that those are the areas are that have a high trend. So just from getting overview like this, maybe I'm gonna zoom in here in this block right here, 3%, 4%, 4.48%, right? But at the same time, too, obviously you want volume because it's showing the amount in that area that have sold, right? 3%. Over here is a 4%. Maybe I would focus on this pocket right here, right? So again, when you're farming, right, you want to try to go back to that area as much as possible. Of course, with how we do the door knocking method, you'll be serving, clients all over. So you'll definitely be touching new areas as well, right? But always come back to this area, like, come back to this area or whatever area you choose and just work it. Go in, go meet the people, see how you could be of service, right? And as you're doing that, build relationships, just connect with them often, give them updates, and the different things that you want, for them to, be in tune with, right? And how you have them in your CRM, so you're following up with them, you're sending them different posts and emails and stuff, so you're keeping that communication there. But so that's that area. Let me go in another area because this door knocking method is for everyone. It's for all over the GTA, all over Ontario, Canada, anywhere where there's homes. But in terms of the interface of what you use, over here, this is for the Toronto Real Estate Board. I'm not sure what other platforms, so I'm just gonna show the GTA for now. All right. So let's go over here. Let's go on the east end, right? So we could go to like Pickering or even Scarborough. Let's check out Scarborough, right? So first you want to get an overview, a high overview like this, right? And then you're looking in the areas. You're looking for the 3.4, 4.7, 2.2. Look at that 10% in this area, 10% turnaround, right? But there's only like one home that's in there in that area. So maybe you want to just get a little wider radius because it shows that around there is also highlighted, right? But I seen the other area that had a lot of residential and it had a high turnaround over here in this corner here, this area. Maybe I want this to be my farming area. All right. So over here, these homes right here, shows with 4%, 21%. Okay. These are probably like brand new. Yeah. So just bought them. They probably bought them and now they're selling them off. But yeah, go here. You see this one here has a really high 20, 20. Oh, sorry. Stop sharing. Get back on here. Look at that. Hold on. 20 point 21.19 turnover in this block right here. These homes. All right. So if you're living in Scarborough, I'll go in that area. They're selling, right? Let's go to Vine or Richmond Hill. I see Richmond Hill here. Let's go to Richmond Hill, right? So zoom in like so, right? Let's go. Let's look. You don't go all the way in. Take a nice overview first. This is 6.84%, 3.35%. Over here, looks like there's a cluster of homes, 7.59%, 4.46, right? So I think over here in this area, we're going to target in on. So the cluster of sales that's going on right now, you could see. So come, let me bring this out here. Yeah, go in this area. Right. Maybe get all the way to up here. And find your block, right? Especially if you're farming. If you're farming, get a nice coverage area. Just go be consistent in going there. Be consistent going there, right? So if you're here in this area, this is where you want to outreach. Okay, do this block one day, this block another day, this block another day, this block another day, here again, here again, here again, here again, right? And then bring it back, come back and forth, right? So talking about farming, right? And we're talking about the turnover, so a churn, there's a high turnaround in the area they're selling, and that's a great place to target in when you're looking for a farming area. All right. And when you're in the farming area, the beautiful thing is, make sure that you connect with these homeowners, you meet them, you greet them, and most importantly, you're putting them in your CRM, remembering their names, and just following up and doing all that stuff that shows that you actually care about them, right? Give them updates on the area when the homes are sold, right? You're doing all that stuff for these people in this area, right? And then from there, of course, you could brand yourself in the area, in the bus shelters, in the mail outs if you want to do that. If you want to do different advertisements, local events, uh, fundraisers, barbecues, right? All that stuff in that area, right? So that you're known in that area. So those are all great ways, but this is a great way for some fast results. You're going to an area where the people are selling, and the data shows. Okay. So that's this session over here. We talked about farming, right? And the turnover, right? In finding your farming area.